Hey YouTube, Happy New Year! I'm sure a lot of you out there are trying to get into a healthy diet and looking for some healthy foods and chance to pound probiotics, and hopefully this channel. We do a lot of fermenting here, a lot of creating our own probiotics. You can buy probiotic tablets in the drugstore, in the supermarket, and they're okay. They're not really good for you. It's really easy to make probiotic food. It's fermented food, especially homemade fermented food, which is super easy to do. And oh, well, yeah, you've probably seen a whole lot of videos that about fermenting and making your own pickles and making your own fermented whatevers, and they look complicated, and measuring stuff and bowls and equipment, and you don't need any of that. Trust me, it's super simple. Here, one of the viewers suggested fermenting baby carrots. Simplest thing. These are peeled, they're cut, they fit right into a small container. While you're in the supermarket, grab a little bit of fresh dill from the herb section over in the produce. It's there, trust me. It's over by the parsley. And finally, the only other thing you want to pick up at the supermarket is some non-iodized salt. If you buy table salt, you've got salt in the house, sure, but you can't use iodized salt. Table salt is iodized, meaning they add iodine to the product so that people get more iodine in their diet, which is great, but not fermenting. The iodine is an antibiotic, and it kills the bacteria that we need to do the fermenting. So people say it works. People have successfully used iodized salt, but let's try something that's going to work better first, and then we'll get into the fancy stuff. Let me show you what else you need. So for your super simple carrots, here's everything you're going to need. Pick up, I talked about the carrots and the dill at the grocery store, your non-iodized salt, sea salt, kosher salt, whatever you want to do, and then stuff them around your kitchen. Save your spaghetti jars. When you make spaghetti and you have these nice jars, they're actually really good canning jars. This isn't the original lid, obviously, but save some jars. This is a little container that some spices came in that I washed out and saved. The trick is to find a jar that fits inside the mouth of the spaghetti sauce container. We'll see what that's for later. And then you just need a spoon. Whenever I buy something at the supermarket that I get in a jar like this, I usually save the jar, run it through the dishwasher, and I'm being earth-friendly, but also you get some good use out of some of these jars. You end up finding some nice containers. First step, fill the jar about half full of water. To that I want to add 3 spoonfuls of salt, just a little sort of heaping. Put the lid on and shake up the salt, dissolve the salt. The dill is optional. It gives a nice taste. This is quite a bit of dill for this amount of carrots. Maybe half of it. Save it, the rest of the dill for something else. Stuff that in your jar. Save this in the fridge for your next project. The baby carrots are actually not even baby carrots. Funny thing about baby carrots is that baby carrots are actually very large old carrots that they take at the carrot factory, cut into little chunks and run through a tumbler, which gives them this kind of peeled appearance, but they're not. They tumble them like stones, and they come out looking like this and turn into something that's cute and delicious for little snacks to feed your kids instead of big, scary, ancient, knurled carrots that nobody wants. But baby carrots nonetheless. Fill the jar with dill and baby carrots and that salt water that we just made a minute ago. So press all the carrots down underneath the surface of the brine, and once you've got them all in there, you might end up with a couple extras. Put the spice jar on top of them, press it down, you can see the water comes up, the brine comes up, and you're done. This is perfect. At this point, take this whole thing, put it away in the pantry for probably about 3 or 4 days, depending on how warm your house is. This house is 68 degrees, so we find that 4, 5, 6 days is the best, but you know, you might want to just try one. Pop the top off, pull one out and taste it. It'll be salty at first, and as it ferments, you'll start to see little bubbles coming up, which is why we don't have the lid screwed on here super tight. This needs to breathe. The air needs to get out. The carbon dioxide needs to come out, but we don't want oxygen to get in. So that's the trick of our little spice jar here. After 3 or 4 days, take one out and taste it. If it's completely sour and you like it, you're done. put the lid on, put it in the fridge. Don't screw the lid on super tight. It will continue to ferment. Maybe after 3 days it hasn't fermented long enough. Put your little weight back on, put it back in the pantry, and give it another day or two. But taste it along the way, and it will continue every day. It'll be a little bit more sour. You might notice the salt goes away, but the salt doesn't go away completely. But the salt's there to protect the vegetables, and so you get the proper kind of bacteria in here. You get your probiotics. If you get the wrong kind of bacteria, you'll get mold. You'll get a foul smell or you smell it when you open it to taste one. And if you smell something you don't like, and if you taste it and it doesn't taste good, spit it out, throw it away, start over. If you taste it and you think, that's kind of good, but I wish it were more sour, put the little jar back on, put it back in the pantry, wait another day, taste it again tomorrow, taste it again the following day. Eventually you'll get to a place where they're delicious. You're done. Take the lid off, put the lid on, not too tight, so it's still going to bubble a little bit, put it in the refrigerator, and enjoy it. You're done. But it will continue to ferment, so keep in mind that it's going to be, perfect. The fridge isn't going to stop the fermentation, it's going to slow down the fermentation. So it'll take, what was taking a couple of days will take a month. So, a month, a couple of weeks. But, save this and hopefully you'll eat this jar within a week or two of finishing it, and you'll find that they're delicious, and you'll probably eat it all that same day, which is fine. You were looking for probiotics? Hey, you got probiotics. One last little tip. Once you've got them fermented to the amount of sourness that you like, and you find that the product that you have is a good pickle, it's a good well-fermented product that you like the way it tastes, and you're rest assured that there's lots of great probiotics in it, but it just tastes too salty, a little trick, pour off about this much of the brine, fill it back up with fresh water, and then put it in the fridge overnight. The fresh water will leach a little bit of the extra salt out of the pickles, out of the fermented carrots, and make them less salty, but you'll still have that same amount of tartness that you were looking for. And for you subscribers out there, I got a great Christmas present this year. Christmas morning, this channel hit 1,000 subscribers, so I want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed. For those of you that are just checking the channel out now, hit the subscribe button right here. Subscribe to the channel, you'll get a little notification that we've got some new do-it-yourself recipes and some better-done-yourself projects that you can play with in the kitchen. And especially, I've been doing a lot of fermenting lately, so if you like this recipe, there's lots more. Hit the button, and thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.